I'm Max Pringle with these headlines. The deadline for a government shutdown on Saturday is looming as Congress debates a budget agreement. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy remains deadlocked with far-right members of his party over the amount of spending cuts. Sagar Magani reports.
Speaker Kevin McCarthy is trying to get hard-right Republicans to approve a temporary House measure to keep the government running, which Tennessee's Andy Ogles and others have said they will never do.
I'm a no and will remain a no.
Even as McCarthy insists he'll hold a test vote Friday, Chuck Schumer and Senate leaders are urging him to allow a vote on their bill.
It would pass. It would pass.
But Florida House Republican Byron Donalds simply says no.
That thing is dead over here. Are you kidding me?
A shutdown would start Sunday, though President Biden says it's not inevitable. Still, asked what can be done to avoid one.
If I knew that, I would have done it already.
Sagar Magani, Washington.
House Republicans are set to hold their first impeachment hearing into President Biden over unproven allegations of financial wrongdoing involving the president's son, Hunter Biden. Jennifer King reports.
They'll be reviewing the constitutional and legal questions surrounding a possible impeachment. Chairman James Comer says Congress has a duty to open the inquiry and that the committee plans to present evidence from legal and financial experts about crimes Hunter Biden and the president may have committed, alleging they brought in millions at the expense of U.S. interests. Today's hearing is a soft launch of sorts with testimony from outside experts in tax law, criminal investigations, and constitutional legal theory. The hearing is taking place as the federal government is days away from what could be a damaging shutdown. Jennifer King, Washington.
The American soldier who sprinted across the border into North Korea where he was detained and later expelled has arrived back in the U.S. The White House said Travis King's release from North Korea was facilitated by Sweden, which represents U.S. interests in North Korea, and China, which is North Korea's closest ally. Eric Tucker has more.
This is not the end of his saga or necessarily the end of his troubles, although the U.S. government has said that its initial focus is going to be on helping him reintegrate into society. It is worth noting that Private King had been declared AWOL after having ran across the border abruptly. To the extent that that becomes an issue for the U.S. military to deal with, that will be something that we'll have to see in the future.
That's Eric Tucker. Ukraine says it shot down more than 30 missiles launched by Russia at cities near the Black Sea coast overnight. Megumi Lim reports from Kyiv.
This is the third time in 4 days Russia carried out large-scale drone strikes targeting port cities. The Ukrainian military said Moscow launched 44 drones overnight, and 34 were shot down by Ukrainian air defense systems. Odessa's regional governor, Oleh Kipper, said although Odessa, a major port city, was the main target, there were no casualties. In a previous drone attack against Odessa on Tuesday, dozens of vehicles were damaged, storage facilities were destroyed, and 2 people were injured. Since Russia's withdrawal from the Black Sea grain deal, it has continued to target port cities along the Black Sea coast in a bid to choke off Ukrainian exports and cripple the country's economy. Megumi Lim in Kyiv.
Police in Philadelphia arrested 52 people who were part of groups of thieves working together that smashed their way into stores in several areas of the city and fled with merchandise. The Philadelphia DA says at least 30 have been charged. Lisa Dwyer has that story.
Over 50 people have been arrested after mobs ransacked Philadelphia stores Tuesday night. I'm Lisa Dwyer. At least 52 people have been arrested after groups of thieves in caravans smashed their way into stores in several areas of Philadelphia. Police Commissioner John Stanford says the ransacking was not connected to an earlier peaceful protest over a judge's decision to dismiss charges against a Philadelphia police officer. Resident Mary Beth Kordick says people are rattled.
It's scary to come down here. It's ruining Philadelphia. It's not fair.
Philly resident Betsy Agre says this is not the first time that areas of the city have been ransacked.
You know, my children are like, you have to move out of the city, and this is where I live, though.
I'm Lisa Dwyer.
And I'm Max Pringle. You're listening to Sojourner Truth on Pacifica Radio.